He is Jalen Rose. I am David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do, Jalen Rose?
We give the people what they want.
The NCAA tournament is underway. We have our upset picks for you, and we'll wrap up all the action from the NBA last night, but we start with some troubling news in the NFL. Multiple women have accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct. There are several suits against him. Jalen, how should the NFL respond to these accusations?
Well, there are a lot of different angles to take on this. But first and foremost, you want a human being to have the opportunity to be innocent until actually proven guilty in a court of law. And that's what I'm going to give Deshaun here. Now, when you see a rash of people trying to sue him for the exact same thing, it can lead to people feeling like it's a trend. But again, I want to make sure that I allow him the opportunity to be innocent until proven guilty, because I also know the thing that comes with fame and money can sometimes make you a target. But I want to make sure that the young ladies who did these allegations get their opportunities to be heard, and heard honestly. That's my current assessment.
Exactly. I think that you should be innocent until proven guilty, but we should also seriously take these accusations as they are, because there are some very troubling accusations, and we'll see how this plays out, not just with Deshaun, but how the NFL and he was going to be traded. There's a lot going on here, but we move to the NBA, where LeBron James squared off against our guy LaMelo Ball, and LeBron showed out, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Do you think he wanted to send a message to LaMelo and the media with this performance?
The media. So LeBron James has only missed one game this season. He understands that Joel Embiid was the favorite going into All-Star break, who's not currently playing. He's looking in his rearview mirror at what Giannis is doing. He understands what James Harden is doing. And LeBron knows if I show up and send a message every night in the regular season, I'm going to force/bully the media into making sure they give me my next MVP title. Y'all ain't going to ignore me this time. Y'all can't say load management. Y'all can't say AD did all of these things. I'm leading the Lakers this regular season. Where's my trophy?
Absolutely. I think that when Joel Embiid got hurt, there's a little tiny part of LeBron that was excited about it, because Joel Embiid was the front runner to win the MVP. But now with Embiid out, it is clearly LeBron's to lose, and I don't think he will. And there's something else that's in play here as well. If the Lakers have the best record in the Western Conference, that pretty much solidifies him as the front runner of the MVP, and that might be the case soon, because the Jazz, who were so hot going into the All-Star break, have cooled off. Case in point, last night, the Jazz lost to the Wizards. Now, Jalen, what do you think this means for the Western Conference and for the Jazz that they haven't been playing well lately?
I want to shout out Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, who are playing like the backcourt I thought they would as the season started. And Russ has been on fire with his triple-doubles and getting numbers. And shout out to his Why Not Foundation, who partnered with LA Unified in order to give support to students in Los Angeles metropolitan area. That's a beautiful thing. But back to basketball, the Jazz defense isn't what it used to be. That's the difference. They're going to make open threes when they get the opportunity to shoot them. But their defense isn't what it used to be. And when the opponents are shooting higher field goal percentages, getting more points in the paint, that ain't the Jazz playing at their strength. They have to get back to their initial identity.
Yeah, especially with Rudy Gobert protecting the rim, you wouldn't expect the point in the paint for the opponents to be that high, but yet it is. Now, Jalen, we're talking about the top teams in the Western Conference, and the bottom team in the Western Conference, the Timberwolves, have themselves something to celebrate. Anthony Edwards has been playing really well lately. The number one pick had 42 points last night. Karl-Anthony Towns had 41 as well. What do you think about this resurgence from Anthony Edwards?
I think I got something for the people. Do you think the Sixers are better without Joel Embiid? Do you think that they should reseed the draft picks 1, 2, and 3? No. Each team got exactly what they wanted. The Minnesota Timberwolves understand that they have D'Angelo Russell under contract, so they needed a contrast to him, somebody that came with power and physicality, that had the upside of an Anthony Edwards. If you're the Golden State Warriors, you needed the height that Wiseman provides and the ability to rim run and to block shots and give them an interior presence. And if you're the Hornets, you need LaMelo Ball to be box office, somebody that can roll the dice and be a superstar. So each team, to me, got what they wanted in this draft, and it's great to see Anthony Edwards starting to find his rhythm and putting up big numbers, in particular, playing alongside Karl Anthony Towns. I was just happy to see Big Cat smile. After everything I know that he's gone through from the outside during the pandemic, losing family members, in particular his mom, as somebody that's dealt with that recently, I understand how tough that is for him. So I was just happy to see him with a smile on his face and getting big numbers.
Well put, Mr. Rose, and I totally agree. I think that the Timberwolves had Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, they needed a wing, they got Edwards, and then the Warriors had the Splash Brothers, so they get Wiseman. They're drafting for fit. I think LaMelo Ball's the best player in this draft, but as you so well eloquated, I think they all drafted for fit and got exactly what they wanted at the top of this draft. And the Timberwolves are so bad that Anthony Edwards is given the opportunity to grow and learn, and then you get things like this, a 42-point performance from a rookie. And if you look at those names that surround him on that graphic, that is some very good company to be in. Jalen, there's some big news in the NFL. They have signed a new deal with their television partners that will get them about $10 billion a year and will eventually add a 17th game. And the Super Bowl will come to ABC and ESPN eventually. Jalen, how do you think the players should feel about this new deal?
The players? How do you think I feel when I'm going to be in downtown Detroit watching the Lions playing the Super Bowl on ABC?
What?
How do you think I'm going to feel? What do you mean? The players happy to get their money. The league is happy to have a new partner, and I'm happy for my ESPN brethren. And we're going to get more games, and we're going to get more playoff games, and we're going to get the Super Bowl. And the Detroit Lions, this is all we needed. This is all we needed. All we needed was a change of venue. That's it. It is our turn. You see Jared Goff. You see our coach biting knees. You see us adding Deuce Staley on our coaching staff. You see what we doing. You see the Bears didn't get Russ. You see what's happening in our division. It's our turn.
The only way the Lions can get to 8 wins is if there are 17 games in the schedule. That's the only way the Lions get to 8 wins is if you keep adding games. They could add 13 games to the schedule, and then maybe the Lions could get 10 wins in a season. Please. And I look forward to ABC airing the Super Bowl in 2026 and the Lions being long out of the playoffs, if they even get there. Jalen, sometimes there are some videos that need to be broken down in detail, so you and I need to go to the table. Well, we know the NCAA tournament is like none other. It's basically being played in a bubble, and we got a look of the difference in facilities between the men's and women's athletes in these tournaments, courtesy of Oregon's Sedona Prince. Take it away, Sedona.
I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room. Now, when pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's, the NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem. Let me show y'all something else. Here's our practice court, right? And then here's that weight room. And then here's all this extra space. If you aren't upset about this problem, then you're a part of it.
Jalen, what do you think about the disparity in facilities between the men's and women's athletes in these tournaments?
A classic, it's the number one example of classism. So you're going to shape it as, well, the men are so much more popular and they make so much more money. So we're going to make sure they have the accommodations that they need because we're paying their coaches astronomical figures to stand on the sideline, to wear certain shoe companies, to have certain endorsement deals. But we're just going to minimize the ladies and act like their tournament isn't important to us. And I'm glad she exposed this, because you and I have been talking about this for years. And not just collegiate women, but WNBA women. I've said how they get treated like second-class citizens. I'm glad everybody's waking up to the party, and I'm glad she exposed this as it related to this year's NCAA tournament. It's disgusting.
Yes, this is shameful, this is embarrassing, and this is clearly wrong and unjust, and I hope the NCAA does fix it, and it shouldn't take a woman like Sedona putting this video out and it getting attention for it to be fixed, but hopefully they will. Jalen, I can't wait to discuss something with you, and that is the actions of Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. You've been in the tournament. You've had coaches. You've been a coach. We'll get your perspective on this interaction between Tom Izzo and Gabe Brown right after this. You don't want to miss it. You are watching Jalen and Jacoby. Coming to you live right above the Heineken River Deck here in Pier 17, the South Street, Seaport District of Manhattan. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, this is the segment where you decide what we discuss. It is time for Keep It Moving.
Tang!
If you want to discuss the topic, say hit the brakes. If not, we will keep it moving, and we start with an actual win for the New York Knicks. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
You know what? Just because Julius Randle balling, hit the brakes.
We'll hit the brakes on this one. Jalen, I joked that they got wins against the Sixers and the Nets just for competing and keeping it close. This was a close game, but it was an actual win for the Knicks. Are they going to make the playoffs?
All I know is that Spike Lee had to crawl for all of you Knicks fans to fly. Charles Oakley had to crawl for all of you Knicks fans to fly. So enjoy. Big shout out to Julius Randle with 17 assists. Yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. I'm happy for Tibbs instituting a culture in New York City with the Knickerbockers.
I will caution Knickerbocker fans optimism, because they do have the second hardest schedule in the NBA post All-Star break. Moving on. Dame Lillard did something really interesting last night in the game. He had 38 minutes he was in the game, put up a lot of points, but had 0 assists. Jalen, how do you play 38 minutes in an NBA game with the ball in your hands and have 0 assists?
This is how, dog. I'm the recipient, dog. You don't see Kyrie Irving, you don't see Steph Curry out here trying to lead the league in assists, dog. They need him to get buckets. They need him to be a leader. They need him to finish at the hoop. They need him to shoot threes. I only get assists when other people make shots. I got to bring him on the show and joke with him about that. Stay tuned.
Let's do that. Mr. Rose, there's something that happened in the UCLA-Michigan State game that I really want to discuss with you. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes.
Jalen, you've seen this before. This is Gabe Brown walking to the tunnel at halftime and Coach Izzo grabbing him, yelling at him. What do you think about this exchange? Did he cross the line?
I think this is a classic example of parenting. Each household happens different. Some give you the pat on the back, others give you the kick in the butt, but they love you just the same. You know when you sign your letter of intent what you're gonna get from Tom Izzo. And that's why that young man's parents and guardian sent him there and had him sign his letter of intent, because they felt like that's what he needed. That's what happens, Jacoby. They send you where they think you're going to get what you need. And so I have no problems with this at all. That's called coaching. That's called discipline. And what would you do when you talking to somebody and they walk away? And you're trying to discipline them, and you're trying to sprinkle your game, your knowledge, your love inside of their brain, and they got the nerve to walk away. What would you do if Quincy did that?
My son disrespects me pretty much every time he opens his mouth. It is extremely difficult. I get sunned by my son constantly. Uncle Jalen needs to come over and instill some discipline.
We all do.
Jalen, we have a Jalen in the tournament who had a big night last night. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. Got to give my guy some love.
Jalen Hawkins of Norfolk State came off the bench, scored 24 points, went 4 for 5 from 3 to give them the win against Appalachian State. What do you think of this Jalen's performance?
I just had to give Jalen the Chicken Hawk some love. You know what I'm saying? Putting in work, for that pamper money. I see you, my guy. You just getting everybody ready for the tournament and the draft to let know the Jalen takeover is here.
The Jalen takeover is certainly here. AJ Green has a new team. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
I love that he does magic tricks, and you know he's one of my favorite receivers. But I had him on fantasy last year. I know he wants to prove that he's not washed. Because Kyler Murray can go. Because D-Hop can go. Keep it moving for now.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
The Bills have signed a backup quarterback. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes! Hit the brakes!
Mitchell Trubisky has signed as the backup quarterback for the Bills. As someone who is firmly on the Bills bandwagon, I look forward to him playing fourth quarters because Josh Allen has led the Bills to a 35-point lead through 3 quarters. That's how this will play out, isn't it?
All I care about is what you feel about the Buffalo Bills, and I'm happy about your Die Easy fandom. But more importantly, where's our correspondent, Benny the Butcher? He gives us all things Buffalo Bills. Where is he at when I need him?
Benny the Butcher is part of the Jalen and Jacoby family, so we're going to hit the brakes. And you know what? Play the clip. Play the clip from Benny.
I'm on ESPN from my kitchen, my chain full of stones, discussing new deals in the Buffalo Bills with Jacoby and Jalen Rose. You heard?
Ooh, yeah!
Those are some bars from Benny the Butcher. That is the art from his new album, The Plugs I Met Too. I can't wait to run this all weekend long. Are you going to do the same?
No question about it. And big shout out to he and 2 Chainz, who dropped a video last night at midnight. I was actually up watching it. And you know how much I feel about the Griselda movement. It just makes me so happy. Shout out to my brother, Boldy James. He next. Bully Boys.
Next, we have a performance from Joey Chestnut, who ate a lot of boneless chicken wings. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes, hit the brakes, hit the brakes.
Jalen, this upsets me because there is no such thing as boneless chicken wings. It does not exist. There's no such thing as a boneless chicken wing. Those are called chicken nuggets. Those are chicken nuggets. The boneless chicken wing does not exist. Do you agree?
I don't do boneless wings, I agree. But for a different reason. I don't really do white meat. So they're not necessarily, they're not nuggets. Nuggets are dark meat. Tenders are white meat, just so you know. I want to give you the distinction. Either way, shout out to Joey Chestnut. He went from eating hot dogs to wings. That is crazy.
That is not crazy whatsoever. He's a professional eater. I hate the concept of boneless chicken wings and flats only. Flats only. Whenever you order wings, order flats only. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Jalen, when we come back, we're going to give our audience our upset picks for the tournament weekend. Stick around for those and much more. You are watching Jalen and Jacoby. Flats only for sure.
I'm about the drumstick life.